All right, guys, I do have a Tuesday morning editorial for you, and it's coming out of South Carolina, South Kakalaki. And it's one that I question exactly what's going to happen to this guy. Now, if it was one of us, I believe it would be handled differently. But it's a police officer. Hey, got to take care of your own. That's what I feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being facetious. Maybe I'm being conceited. We'll see right now. Thank you to Live 5 News for this story. Out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, the Mount Pleasant Police Department terminated one of its officers Friday after Charleston County dispatchers received a 911 call about the officer apparently passed out in a vehicle with an open beer can. Sergeant Matt Kennard was charged with public intoxication. Inspector Donald Calabrese said, police responded at approximately 11:20 a.m. Friday to the area of Tyson Road near the East Cooper Airport to find a marked Pleasant police SUV with Sergeant Kennard passed out in the vehicle with an open beer can between his legs, Calabrese said. The officers notified the other on-duty supervisor, who responded to the scene and escorted Kennard back to the Mount Pleasant Police Department. There he was met by the operations captain and a lieutenant from the Office of Professional Standards, Calabrese said. Calabrese said, quote, he was determined Sergeant Kennard was intoxicated while on duty and had passed out in his marked police SUV. Chief Carl Ritchie immediately terminated Kennard, and Ritchie said, quote, the criminal consequences are consistent with those a non-law enforcement member of our community would be exposed to, and we should not be expected to be treated differently in this circumstance. I am very disappointed that one of our police supervisors would conduct himself in this manner. Sergeant Kennard was released on a courtesy summons, Calabrese said. A couple of things I want to point out here is they said they were getting him for public intoxication. Is that what they said? I believe it was. So, yeah, he was charged with public intoxication. Public intoxication. PI. For sitting in a police car with a beer can between his legs, he was given public intoxication charge. His chief says, well, this is consistent with non-law enforcement members of our community. Bullshit. Somebody passed out in a car with a beer can between their legs would be charged with DUI. You know it. I know it. All of South Carolina knows it. So I don't know who you think you're fooling, Chief. But then he was released on a courtesy summons. It doesn't really say, and it's not really clear, and I've checked a couple different stories which kind of say the same thing as this one, that it doesn't say if he was booked, and released on a site for, well, DUI. No, he was fired. Well, he was fired. Okay, but is he going to get charged with DUI? He was in a police car, with a beer can between his legs, passed out. Public intoxication. He wasn't walking down the street going, hey, what's up? He was sitting in a car with a beer can between his legs, passed out. So does he get charged or what? I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Community Leo Watch, watching Leos. That's law enforcement officers from coast to coast, especially in South Kakalaki.